Hi, Monica. Thank you for your patience. This is your private reading. So, I'm going to use a few decks. I'm going to pause in between readings so that you don't have to watch me shuffle the cards. And my computer is right here. That's where I'm getting your energy from. Please let me know how this resonates with you, just to ensure that I got the correct energy. I did cleanse in between my readings. This is yours. I would recommend to watch it by yourself first, and then if you wish to or want to share it with anybody, then you are more than welcome to. You can rewatch it as many times as you want. The only thing that, again, I ask is just let me know how it resonates with you, just so that I know that I got the correct energy. How my cards tend to work for me, because every card reader is a little bit different, is it comes out past, present, and future. Future stuff is not set in stone. So as soon as you start making decisions, then this may change, okay? Just as a heads up. I'll let you know what I'm kind of feeling and what the cards are kind of saying to me, or anything that comes to me like clairaudient or clairvoyant wise during the reading. If it's getting to be too much, then you're more than welcome to, again, step away and then come back to it at any time. I would recommend to also review it in maybe a week or two. I usually don't say that, but for you, I feel like you're going to need to review this in like a week or two. So, having said that, let's get started. I have a feeling this might be a longer one too, but let's see. You're a dreamer, aren't you? Like, not like you could actually be physically dreaming when you're sleeping, but you have big dreams. You want to, like, it's a good thing, but at some points in time, I feel like it kind of gets in the way of things. Hopefully that makes sense, because you get so focused on that specific dream that it just kind of takes over a little. That's how I'm kind of feeling. Okay. You got a lot here. You got a lot on your mind. Okay. I feel like you've lived over multiple lifetimes too, if you believe in that sort of thing, because the first card that came out kind of sets the tone of the reading. Neverland. So Neverland to me is about like inner child healing. It can also be about the Akashic records. I'm trying to learn more about the Akashic records, but basically it's about like past lives and what you've been through carrying over to this lifetime. Again, if you believe in that sort of thing, but it's, again, kind of that childhood innocence and being a dreamer and wanting more in your life, and trying to get it for yourself. That's worded very weird. I'm sorry. So the next card was value. Value is about like priorities. It's also about like self-worth, self-value, your appreciation towards others and yourself. I think that whatever comes to you in your life, you're very grateful for. You value what you have in your home. You value those around you. I'm getting huge goosebumps. You know the worth, and you know your self-worth, and everything that you have brought into your life is from good karma. Okay? It's about helping others, and then you're receiving help back from the universe saying, hey, you've done very well, and you've done all this not only for yourself, but you're also very charitable to others. So you know the value in items, and you know the value for everything else, and you know your self-worth, and you bring it forward. Earth came out with Blindside. So Earth, you could have ties to Earth, like, again, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. But I feel like it's about walls, because this one here, notice the wall, okay? So I feel like you still have walls up. So even though you're very, very giving, you're very leery about certain things because of some things that have happened in your past. So you put your defenses up sometimes. And again, it's going with the blind spot. So the blind spot is about like behind the scenes, divine timing. It's about something that you don't necessarily know about, but you put your defenses up about it. So it's all about balancing things out. So balance came out next. So this is about like being mindful. And is it something to actually throw your walls up about? Is it something that you just need to kind of, again, have that temperance kind of idea? So knowing that the motives are actually pure of heart and having, again, the balance within yourself and not having that internal struggle of, okay, is it actually happening or is it not actually happening? So temperance in tarot is about like alchemy and blending of energy. So it's also about like harmony too, which goes along with balance. It's about like harmony of your masculine energy and your feminine energy. So everybody has masculine, everybody has feminine energy. So this is about balancing and having the duality of both and having each of them come out at separate times when it's warranted. So your feminine energy is like your nurturing, kind, giving, kind of more motherly. That's kind of how I view it. And then your masculine is about like being rough and tough and like standing up for yourself and knowing that it's true and that is right, and you actually like stand up for yourself about it. That's how I view those two in this sort of situation. So this is about having that fluidity of both and making sure that you have the right one coming out at certain times. Because I think that sometimes if there's conflict, you shut down. So your feminine energy kind of just shuts you down, where at that point in time, it's more of your masculine energy needs to come out a little bit and kind of hold your ground. Not necessarily like argue back, but just holding your ground instead of just shutting down. That's how I'm viewing this. But again, it's all about like being neutral, and it's about restraint and having that purpose and mindfulness about it. Hopefully that makes sense, because again, it's all within this card. The one came out. So this is about life partner. This is about loyal, true love, those sorts of things. So I think that a lot of what I just said is in regards to that individual that you view for this card. That there's, again, a lot of like maybe shutting down, not really holding your ground, not really toxic vibes, but more of a just hold your own. You know what's true and you know how it's supposed to be. So that's where you got to go. Okay. So friendship came out in sideways. So when my cards come out sideways like this, it's like they're in upright, but it's like past, present, and future. So your friends are like your support system. They're kind of your go-to. You may be talking to them about certain situations. It's about, again, that support system. Like you're talking to them and they're talking to you about certain things, and you have a lot in common with those individuals. So it's like they're accepting of everything about you. And again, it's going to continue because of this. Water came out with separation. So the water, I don't know if you have water in your chart. I feel more like it's earth. But the water is Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. But I feel like, now that I say that, I think you do have water in your chart, because you are very intuitive. And usually intuitive individuals have at least one water sign, if not more, in their chart. Like their big three, I'm talking. So I think that I want to say Cancer, but I could be wrong. So the water and the separation, notice that this is very calming water, okay? And the separation is about you being stuck on a road. So right now things are a little bit calmer. But I think maybe something might be happening very shortly because of how the cards are coming out, because we're kind of getting towards the end of this deck. So the separation is about, you know your end result, like where you need to go, but you don't know what pathway to go on because you don't want to disrupt the waters. Does that make sense? It's kind of an analogy, okay? So right now you're stuck. You're yearning for something. You're missing something. You feel like you're missing something, but there's some sort of distance between you and where you need to go. And you got to close that gap somehow. And I think that you need to ruffle the waters a little bit, test out the waters a little bit on certain things, possibly in magic kind of things. Test out the waters and see what pathway is best for you and get you unstuck and get on the right pathway to where you need to go, because your defenses are up about things at the minute. So I think that you might be, again, stuck. You might be self-sabotaging too, getting, again, stuck up here. And you might be regretful about certain things that you have done in the past or have said in the past. And that's where your defenses are coming up too. So Ascend and then Serendipity came out together. So the Ascend is about like increasing that frequency, getting on that higher vibration. Because if your defenses are up and your walls are up and you're having a hard time getting around those and letting them down a little bit around certain individuals, then you're going to have lower vibrations. So you need to kind of, there's a fine line, because you don't want to let it down too much, but at the same time, you got to let it down a little bit. So instead of viewing boundaries like walls, view boundaries like doorways. So when I say that, if somebody earns your trust, open the door a little bit. If somebody doesn't earn your trust, or if they do something that is like, no, you've crossed my boundary, close it or slam it shut. It's up to you. You are in charge of the door, okay? Once you start figuring out the doors and having that healing in place, so that, again, having that ascension of getting on a higher frequency, having that little bit of an ego death possibly. Everybody has an ego death, or an ego inner child and a shadow side. So I think that, again, your ego might be getting in the way of some things, and this is kind of maybe stopping a little bit of your trauma healing from your past. Everybody has a little bit of history from their past. I think that is still kind of harboring a little bit on you, because the serendipity that came out with the Ascend is, once you're having that healing taking place and having that increased frequency, your blessings, your cosmic gifts, everything that you're manifesting, your wishes are going to start becoming true, and it's going to actually start producing within this realm. You know what I mean? Because instead of like just kind of being in this mode, you're going to be like actually physically seeing everything that you're wanting coming true. Bottom of the deck is Warrior. So you are definitely a light worker. This is about being a light worker, helping others. This is also being about having strength, inner strength, and being prepared for what's to come. So again, you're going to be continuing to be a light worker, and the movement is going to be happening. So let me grab another deck. I'll be right back. Okay, so this one is kind of reiterating some of the stuff from the first deck, which I'm not surprised about, because usually what happens, and it's kind of a confirmation for me that I have the right energy. So the first thing that came out with this one is trust and divine timing. So this one here, this is all about cycles. This is about not only the cycles that you're seeing within this lifetime, but it's also about cycles from your past life too. Because some things that you're doing that are coming up in this life, I'm getting goosebumps, it's almost like you've done it before. And it's kind of like deja vu moments where you're like, I know I've done this before, or it feels like I've done this before. It's because you have, because it's a cycle. It's coming around again, okay? I know this sounds really weird, but that's how I truly feel about this. So clocks are cycles. Butterflies can be cycles too, because they have that metamorphosis, and you are like a butterfly. So all these kind of cycles that you're going through in this lifetime is to prepare you not only to continue this life, but for your following lifetime as well. Okay? So you are very intuitive. I can already feel that. And I feel like your third eye is also going to be opening even more because of this here. Right now, we are in retrograde. Oh, what planet is it? I can't remember. Oh, Pluto. So that one is ruled pretty much by intuition. So you might be triggered with this that's going on, okay? And you might be noticing certain things are coming up more often, and it's because of this, okay? It's because of who you are and how it's affecting you. Masculine came out with this one, so again, bringing out your masculine side a little bit more. Self-care came out, okay? And energy is really sticking out on the bottom. So I feel like you need to protect your energy right now because of what's happening. Self-care normally is like, you need to look after yourself more. You need to like start doing more things for yourself and keeping the time, like setting time aside to do your self-care and self-love and self-appreciation. I feel like you're already doing those things. It's more about protecting your energy. So this card is about you specifically protecting your energy and veiling. I feel like veiling, okay? If you want a video on veiling, let me know. Because I have a feeling that you might be having some energy vampires going around that are sucking you dry. And you're really, really tired because of this. So protecting your energy is very important right now. Because right now, again, water came out. So I feel like you are very connected with water. Especially when this came out with the first deck. And notice again, it's kind of calming. Okay, so you got to kind of maybe ruffle it a little bit, and you're having growth in the summer. Okay, we're in the middle of the deck, so you're having growth in this like right now, and it's going to continue to grow. So not only is your intuition and your abilities are growing, but I feel like it's getting you prepared for something that's going to be coming, because Rebirth in Winter came out just after. So whatever's happening right now, it's not to scare you or freak you out. It's to kind of prepare you so that you know how to handle things when they come around in winter, okay? And I think it has something to do with your shadow side. So I think that something is going to trigger you in the winter time and bring out your shadow side a little bit more. So don't be freaked out by that. Again, anything futuristic, it's not set in stone. I just wanted to let you know that that's what I'm feeling with these cards, okay? And I feel like the moon is really important to you too. Like the moon on this card is really sticking out to me. You live off the cycles of the moon, I feel like, and it's almost like you're synced up with, you know what I mean? You're synced up with the cycles of the moon with your stuff, okay? So contracts, career, and commitments came out next. So I think that towards like future, you've been thinking about something about your work. That's how I'm feeling with this. And this is about like, it's not like a willy-nilly kind of thing. It's more of a, I'm not really being appreciated for how hard I'm actually working. So they need to either step it up or I'm going to start looking for something else. That's how I kind of feel like this. So it's kind of like, you got to kind of nip it in the butt and actually express how you're feeling. Review. Do you have a review coming up soon? Because that's how I'm feeling with this. But communication is going to be key. Okay, so communication and messages are going to be key with anything. Okay, ego came out next. So vanity and pride. Set your pride aside and actually, like, you know your value. You know your worth. Don't let your ego get involved with it. Okay, that's how I'm viewing this. Don't let your ego get involved with it. But at the same time, you need to let them know how you're kind of feeling if this is how you're feeling, okay? Because it's all about balancing. Life is a huge balancing act. So right now, I feel like you're kind of tipping the scales in their favor because they don't know, excuse me, they don't know how you're actually truly feeling. So I feel like you need to express yourself a little bit more. Bottom of this deck is wishes being fulfilled, okay? So I feel like no matter what way or what route you go on, things are still going to be coming to you and it's going to be feeling really, really good. So things are going to be working out. You're on the sunny side, those sorts of things, okay? So it's kind of like the genie in the lamp. Things are going to be working out. You're still regretful of something though, because like when I split the deck, regret and repression came out. And then is feminine, notice the third eye. So I think that you're kind of regretful a little bit about some of the things that have happened in the past or that you haven't said in the past. The past is the past. If you're feeling this way, it's about not getting caught up in the past. Knowing what your past was and reviewing from the past and moving on from the past. Okay? So I think that's very important as well. So don't live in the past. You can't change the past. All you can do is learn from it and move forward. So let me grab one more deck. I'll be right back. All right. So this one here, this deck, it is more of a love deck, but I use it for other readings. So you're really caught up here, I think. So the first card that came out with healthy choices. So healthy choices is about like making healthy choices for yourself in love and in life. So this is again about self-love, self-care, being happier, and looking after yourself. Okay. Addiction came out next. So addiction is about like some sort of codependency relationship of some sort. I don't know who this is involving. I think you have an idea of who it is, but it's kind of like there's controlling aspects of it. I think that it's your other half, that there is some controlling factors in it, but there's a blockage as well. And that's again where you might be having those things going on. So this is about some sort of like having that restraint so that you can break that cycle. Girl with the Snake came out next. So Girl with the Snake is about like an empath narcissistic paradigm. This doesn't mean that your other half is a narcissist. This is more of like you are empathic and you know that you're empathic. And so when things are heating up, then that's when you shut down. Because it's about, again, you need to create a bubble around yourself, okay? And start setting actual boundaries with individuals. And then if they cross their boundaries, then you can kind of go from there. But as far as like empath bubble, I have videos on that on my TikTok. But the empath bubble is about developing like a barrier around you that is energetic, that you have produced. And basically nobody can affect you as far as like empathic. So they can't affect you with their energy and how they're feeling unless they are inside your bubble. Okay? Don't have it too close to you at first. Have it kind of outwards a little bit and then draw it in closer as you perfect it. Because I think that right now you're not protecting yourself with that and is really affecting you. Okay, so setting not only that energetic boundary, but also having the boundaries in place that if people cross your boundaries, then you can like close the door on them. Okay, so receiving what you need is about boat. So the boat is about like having that progression with your abilities and yourself and knowing that you can do this. And this is about like also having help at the right time. So arriving at the right time. And it's about like closing issues and those sorts of things. So you're receiving what you need and you're receiving what you need to hear to get through what you're going through. Okay. Camera came out next. So camera is about like reminiscing. It could also be about like looking at keepsakes, having keepsakes around you. It's about having that like learning from the past, leaving it in the past, so that you can make new memories. So knowing that your past is the past, you've learned from the past, like I was saying before, and then moving on from the past. Because the bottom of the deck is cassette. So the cassette is about like maybe having like outdated thinking a little bit. So like we were raised like this, so we need to do this. You know what I mean? So it might be a little bit outdating. It might be like replaying over and over and over like a cassette. So once it gets to the end, it rewinds back and then starts all over again. Those sorts of things. So it's about replaying events. It's about conditioning yourself by replaying those events and getting stuck on those events. So again, kind of just getting out of your head a little bit. So Stop trying to replay the events that from the past, learn from them, but leave them in the past. Because I think that's happening quite a bit with you. So again, it's all about a cycle. That's bottom of the deck too. So it's all about a cycle, and you just need time. You need to be easier on yourself too. So this is time to heal and a time for progress within yourself. And I know that you can do it. It's just sitting down and actually having, again, those healthy choices and getting through those motions. Okay, so let me know how this resonates with you. Sorry, I was kind of jumping all over the place, but let me know. And yeah, I wish you all the best. But remember, you can review this. I would recommend reviewing it in about a week or so, and it will be open to you. So thank you again for trusting me.